What should feel like a joyful countdown to Lisa and Carla's wedding has suddenly turned into something much bigger. Because in today's Coronation Street, one long-delayed letter finally arrived, and with it came the legal freedom that could change everything just before their big day. In the early ITVX episode airing on Wednesday, April 8th, Lisa and Carla were given the news they have been waiting on for so long. As their April 23rd wedding gets closer, Lisa has clearly been carrying a quiet but very real anxiety over whether everything connected to Becky Swain would finally be resolved in time. That tension has been hanging over her future with Carla, because no matter how much they wanted to move forward, there was always one legal and emotional loose end still tying Lisa to the past. Now, that has finally changed. Lisa received her decree absolute in the post, confirming that her divorce from Becky is officially complete. After everything that has happened, this is not just paperwork. It is the closing of a chapter that has haunted both Lisa and Carla for far too long. That history is exactly why this moment lands with so much force. Becky's return last year did not just cause a bit of disruption. It completely shattered the stability Lisa and Carla thought they had built. Becky had faked her death 4 years earlier, meaning Lisa had been left believing she was gone while still legally married to her the entire time. That revelation turned Lisa's engagement to Carla upside down and created a situation where love, guilt, betrayal, and unfinished trauma all collided at once. It also explains why Lisa has seemed so on edge. This was never only about whether she could legally remarry. It was also about whether Becky's shadow would keep poisoning every step forward. Lisa has been trying to build something safe and real with Carla, but Becky's actions forced her back into chaos. And that kind of emotional damage does not disappear quickly. Even with Becky now in prison and serving a long sentence, the fear of more disruption has probably never been far from Lisa's mind. Carla's position in all of this should not be overlooked either. She has stood beside Lisa through an ordeal that would have shaken any relationship. Becky's obsession escalated to terrifying extremes, especially when Carla was taken hostage in that storage container, leading to one of the most explosive confrontations in the storyline. That was the point where this stopped being a messy love triangle from the past and became something far darker. Becky was no longer just refusing to let go. She was actively destroying lives in the hope of reclaiming one that had already moved on. Her arrest after the Corriedale car incident seemed to mark the end of that threat, and now the decree absolute makes it feel official in every sense. Becky finally appears to have accepted that her relationship with Lisa is over, and for Lisa and Carla, that should mean they can finally breathe again. But this is Coronation Street, so peace rarely lasts for long. A recent flash forward has already revealed that Lisa and Carla do make it to the altar on April 23rd. During a police interview, Betsy Swain, all dressed up, confirmed that her mom did marry Carla and described the day as beautiful. That detail gives fans reassurance that the wedding itself does happen, but it also creates a different kind of unease, because the flash forward makes it obvious that the ceremony is only part of the story. The darker twist comes later that same evening, when Betsy and Lauren return to the street after the wedding, and Betsy stumbles upon a dead body. That one moment changes the tone completely. What should have been remembered as a romantic milestone is suddenly tied to a mystery and a death, which means the wedding may end up being overshadowed almost immediately by tragedy. The fact that the victim's identity is still being kept secret only makes the whole thing more intriguing. Right now, Theo, Carl, Maggie, Megan, and Jody are all possible candidates. And the reason this works so well is that each name carries enough conflict to make the outcome believable. Whoever dies, it is unlikely to be random. The street has clearly been setting up fractures, grudges, and resentments, so this feels like the kind of twist designed to make viewers look back and rethink everything that happened leading up to the wedding. The most interesting part now is the contrast. Lisa and Carla have finally reached the point where the past is legally behind them. Yet the very day that should represent a new beginning may become linked forever to a death investigation. That gives the story a cruel irony. Just when Lisa gets proof that Becky no longer has any hold over her life, another crisis seems ready to take over. There is also every chance that this looming body discovery will hit Betsy especially hard. She is already caught between being part of her mother's complicated legacy and trying to navigate the fallout of everything that has happened around Lisa and Carla. Finding a body after attending that wedding could leave her emotionally shaken in a way that lasts well beyond the shock itself. And if the police start pulling apart what happened that night, the emotional consequences could spread quickly across everyone connected to the day. At this point, the decree absolute feels like both a victory and a warning. It gives Lisa and Carla what they have wanted. But because the flash forward already tells us something terrible follows, the happiness comes with a sense of dread. That is what makes this storyline so effective right now. It offers closure, but only briefly, before opening the door to a much darker question. Whose life is about to end? And how will that death stain what should have been the happiest day Lisa and Carla have had in years? If the show is building this the way it seems to be, the wedding episode could end up being one of those classic Coronation Street chapters where joy and disaster collide in the same breath. Lisa and Carla may finally get their moment, but it looks more and more likely that the street will make sure nobody remembers it for the reason they hoped. If you want more Coronation Street updates, theories, and breakdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next twist.